Hi guys, let's talk about the beginning of May. All right, this is the way these videos are going to go. I'm front loading all of the individual signs with the astrology. I'm time stamping. I'm going to time stamp for the astrology. The astrology and the aspects are going to be the same for all the signs. So if you're watching for your sun or your rising, your moon, your Venus, whatever it is now, and you want to check one of your other signs, just go into the description box and you could just click forward to ahead to the tarot portion, because there are going to be 3 sections, okay, for each of the signs. So there's going to be astrology, and then there's going to be career, and then there's going to be a relationship read. All right, so each of those sections are going to be timestamped. Well, the astrology won't be because I'm starting with that, but then I'm going to timestamp for the career and the relationship just for your ease, and so you don't have to sit through the whole video and all the astrology each time and go searching for all of that stuff, okay? So I hope that helps you guys out. But I always like to start with the astrology, guys. You know, my heart is with tarot, but it's also with astrology, right? So I can't separate the two. So I want to just talk about, we're just going to be dealing with the first week of May right now, okay? And so we had some big aspects coming on, and hallelujah, May is going to be so much better than flipping April. It really is. We have a very, very positive full moon happening on the 7th, so I just wanted to talk about that. Now, on the 3rd, on May 3rd, that's the only little bit of a, I'm just going to call it a little bit of a wonky energy. It's Venus square Neptune. Venus is great. Venus, obviously, we talked a lot about Venus yesterday in my Venus video. I'm going to link that above and in the description box, by the way, having to do with Venus retrograde. But Venus is going to be square Neptune. And remember, Neptune is all about illusory and not feeling firmly footed. So we have Venus in there, which is about love and having to do with money and having to do with our self-esteem. So it's like feeling foggy about those things. It's not going to be a very long energy that we're going to have to deal with, and everything else is really positive, but let's just give it a little, a little attention, just so that if you guys are feeling this way, you know that that's what it is, and you're not like losing your mind or spiraling down into a deeper state of depression or whatever you might be feeling right now, which, you know, guys, a lot of people are dealing with those, anxiety, depression. You know, it's a weird world we live in right now, right? All right, so Venus square Neptune on May 3rd. So Venus is, again, it's about love, money, self-esteem in general, but especially love and money. And Neptune is that ruler of the 12th house. It's Pisces house. It's the house of self-undoing. And that could easily make us, on the one hand, feel very victimized, right? And on the other hand, very unclear, since Neptune really is this ungrounded energy, and it really is trying to look at life through like a dirty window or a fog, kind of, right? So there's just not going to be a lot of clarity in the beginning of May, having to do with love and having to do with career. So just know that, okay? Because what ends up happening is, and the reason I say fog, because you know when you look through a fog or a dirty window, you kind of see what's there, but not really. And then what do we do as human beings? We end up filling in what we don't understand, and we fill in information to satisfy ourselves, but we can often be wrong in this energy. So just be mindful of that. So Venus square Neptune transit can lead to feelings of insecurity about yourself, even how you look, guys, like how you look, you know, because Venus is about beauty. It's about the external. So it's possible that you might feel that others are looking at you or thinking about you in a strange way, but please know that this isn't real. And any impressions like this are just going to be very distorted and won't be matching reality. So this wonky, I'm just going to call it poor self-image, can easily lead to relationship difficulties, right? Where you maybe think your partner is looking at you or thinking about you or seeing you in a certain light, and you're not feeling comfortable with it. And this could be a situation where you might be projecting some insecurities onto your relationship. And in the same way, you could also experience disappointments in your love life by forming a distorted image of someone else. And we've been kind of talking about that in the past couple of videos, where we end up projecting onto somebody what we really want them to be, and rather than maybe who they are or who they're even capable of being, and then that can end up leading to frustration. So if you're going through that, you know, just be mindful. It's just Venus square Neptune. And there's also a tendency to over-idealize romantic interest at this time, right? Really ignoring the obvious flaws that are kind of in plain sight because we have rose-colored glasses on. And, you know, I mean, we talked a lot with the Venus retrograde. as soon as the shadow starts, Venus is going to be like, here, put these rose-colored glasses on. So we just have to be a little careful of that. But regardless, situations leave you susceptible, having to do with love, to major disappointments, where you're either disappointed or maybe you feel like you're being taken advantage of, or you're being treated like a doormat in some way. But this is the thing. If you're in a healthy relationship, this is really, really short-lived, because assuming that if you're in a relatively normal, whatever the hell that means, but relationship where there's mutual respect, you're going to be able to talk about how you feel. So there's going to be that open communication. So you might be feeling it for a minute, but it's nothing that communication's not going to be able to solve. Now, if you're not in a really trusting relationship, this could be a little more problematic, and matters of trust can easily become an issue. And guys, I do want to say, and this is no judgment at all, but if you're thinking about starting an affair at this time, depending on where you live, depending on the quarantine situation, and I'm even talking about like online kind of affairs, not smart, since it's going to be really difficult to hide and you're going to get busted. So, because remember, Venus goes shadow and goes retrograde. It doesn't go retrograde till the middle of the month, but it's going to be going shadow to shadow the middle of the month. And that's where the lights are just going to start to become brighter and brighter and brighter, having to do with anything that's like shady, okay? So if you're not in a relationship or a solid relationship, you can feel this incredible need for honest tenderness, just an affection, right? So your desire for this is going to end up lifting these energetic blocks that you may be having, that you don't even realize, because we don't even realize when we put these energetic blocks up, right? These energetic do not disturb, right? Because my heart's still broken, or do not disturb because I'm choosing to still have feelings for somebody else. Those are going to kind of be lifted, but you have to stay conscious of this very confusing Neptunian influence. I'm not saying not to get involved with anybody, just be careful. Again, even like I mentioned, having to do with Venus retrograde, that reality is actually what it is, and that you're not filling in or seeing things that aren't there. Because it would be great if you can wait until after this transit before committing yourself in a new way, or being too trusted to somebody new. And that goes for the newness element, not obviously if you're in a relationship again. Poor self-esteem and lack of self-discipline in this energy big time. So it can be really difficult to stay on that diet, to maybe not drink so much, any kind of partying, anything like that. Shopping therapy, getting online, right, and doing some shopping therapy, anything that makes you feel good. You just more, it's going to be harder for you to control this. You're definitely going to be more susceptible to the depressive influences of alcohol during this energy, and more susceptible to poisoning in general, guys. I mean, I'm not a fear monger. I don't like that. Also, I just want to take this opportunity to say, stay away from fear-mongering sites. These people who are just like all about doom and gloom and everything. Guys, life is cyclical. We are human beings. We are strong. We're resilient. We're going to get past all of this stuff. And if you hyper-focus on any of the negative aspects having to do with readings, or any of the, the negative news that you hear, like attracts like, right? So you don't want to really swim in negativity. You just don't want to do that. All right. But that being said, I do have to remind us, right, that Venus being in square with Neptune does rule disease, right? It's a Pisces energy, and viruses, right? Anything that kind of like hides sort of underneath the surface. So you just want to be a little careful now, because addiction is definitely more likely. Like if you were to dabble in drugs, it's much easier in this energy to become addicted. If you weren't a big drinker beforehand, but you're starting to drink more, that maybe you're out of work or working differently, it's the energy is like can really suck you down that rabbit hole. So just be careful of anything like that, any kind of potential overdoing. Let's just leave it there. Okay, so now let's go on to a couple of things that are way more, if you want to say, positive and less challenging. Not that one's going to be that challenging, because it's not going to be that long-lived, but that's the most challenging of the week. So we're going to have Sun conjunct Mercury on May 4th. So this is going to put a focus on your thinking and communications. You're going to be very, very busy mentally. We're all going to be very busy mentally. All right. Your mind will be on, what idea is going to favor you the most? What path is going to bring you where you really want to go? Really kind of feeling very comfortable making decisions in this energy, and as far as like, particularly having to do with the pragmatics of your life, right? So I just feel like, clearing out paperwork and bills. You're going to be receiving letters and sending emails, and a lot of us are going to start feeling a little more ready to socially distance and do it responsible, but to get out around town, even if it's just for like short little trips, we're going to start to feel ready to do that. Because Mercury rules communication, thinking patterns, rationality, reasoning, right? Remember, Mercury rules Gemini, but also rules Virgo. And Virgo is like a very pragmatic sign. It's like, all right, what do we have to do? So you're really going to be in that space. Also, primary and secondary education, your neighborhood, siblings, cousins, short distance, transport, like I mentioned, news and information. These things are all ruled by Mercury, right? And so the sun is hanging in there with these ideas. So you're probably going to be talking a lot to some family, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, doing a lot of exchange having to do with education. Those of us who are in higher ed, who are teachers, we're getting ready for our end of the semester. Those, our students are getting ready for studying for finals, or doing those, in my case, those final essays and all of that. So lots of busyness there. You're going to be just very fast, lively, adaptable, very almost in an unemotional and curious way. You're just going to be like sucking in information. So I really like it. You're going to want to, just have conversations on topics that interest you, because hello, that's Mercury. It's the intellect, right? It's all of that. So this is a great time to make plans to start business deals, to bargain and sell. This is a great week to do a bit to engage in a business deal. It really, really is. Even though Mercury is going to be going retrograde in Gemini, which is ruled by Venus is going to, did I say Mercury? Venus is going to be going retrograde in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury in the middle of the month. But you could start something here that you've already begun the process on, in particular. Especially if you've already, brand spanking new, maybe not so much. But if you've been thinking about it, really good energy to do that. Then on the 7th, we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. We like when the planets have sex. It's good for us. It's very benefic. So this is good for relaxation, creativity, communication, anything spiritual. So for those of you who are going through, Libras in particular, going to be going through this in this energy, like spirituality pursuits, thinking about things, looking at life in a different way. Great energy to be doing that. Your words can be very soothing and can actually become healing to others, to each other. There's just going to be this sense of calming about this. All of your senses become very acute, enabling you to pick up a lot of extra information through your intuition, right? Because Mercury communication and Neptune rules Pisces, that, the eldest water sign. It's about intuition full force. So you might even be receiving a lot of messages through your dreams, through very serendipitous circumstances, but through your higher consciousness. Really nice. Chance encounters, hearing from somebody you haven't heard from in a while. Great time to do anything creative. I mean, anything from writing, artwork, anything differently that you do. We could be creative with anything that we do. So it's just a very, how do I want to say, a time of epiphanies and beautiful rolling out of these seeds that you've been cultivating, and your subconscious are going to pop up to your conscious mind, and you're really going to want to really push things forward. So I really like that. You're going to feel so ready for socializing in this energy. Absolutely. And relationships are really going to benefit in this energy as well. Very compassionate, very spiritual. There's a spiritual and compassionate element about this transit, so I do like it. Now we have to talk about the last thing that I want to mention for the week. Scorpio full moon on Thursday the 7th is the first positive moon phase for 6 weeks. Yes. This has a very spiritual, a very healing, a very compassionate influence, because Mercury sextiling Neptune in there as well. It's just like, wow. And Scorpio is that deep water sign ruled by Neptune, which is all about changes and transformation and allowing cycles to end to allow beautiful cycles to begin. Now, that doesn't mean the ending of things. It means the ending of a cycle. So it doesn't have to mean the ending of that relationship, or it doesn't have to mean totally the ending of that job. It's going to resonate with everyone a little differently. But generally, people are going to be more sympathetic and understanding in this energy, and it'll make you more sensitive and better able to understand any areas that you have conflicting emotions in, which isn't that awesome, right? Clarity is always a friend, right? But importantly, it's really going to help you to see a brighter future, which is awesome. Things are just going to start to feel and look a little brighter, like you see the light at the end of the tunnel for, the end of the virus, right? They're calling the new normal, whatever the heck you want to call it, is really going to start to make sense. And we're going to start to feel a little more comfortable about taking those chances and doing things responsibly as a people, responsibly. Trusting that people are just not going to be irresponsible, But what does this full moon mean? Sun opposite moon brings your home, your family, intimate relationships into sharper focus for the following 2 weeks of this moon phase. Opposing forces such as work versus home, even if you're working from home, which working from home, I find it kind of like weird to balance out, like, am I working? Am I not working? I'm like putting dinner on while I'm like working, and it's just like, it's strange. So you're going to be looking at that balance, not in a bad way, in a good way, in like a problem solving way. So I do like that. And what you need versus what you want, right? A lot of us are going to be in that phase, creating this inner tension and external pressures, or any area where there's a creation of internal versus external pressures is going to be looked at right now, and in a really positive way. Now, you just want to be careful. For a minute, this could lead to conflict and crisis that drain your energy, but it's only because you're doing some really good active thinking. So it's more of like a mental kind of drain, but it's not bad. It's good because it's towards something good. But if you're feeling extra tired, I always say that in full moon energies, unless you have natal retrogrades in, like a Cancer energy in the 4th house, you might feel really more energetic during a full moon. But generally speaking, most people feel kind of tired. You just do. So let's talk about a couple of aspects going on here. We have the full moon opposite Mercury. This makes the understanding and communication, your feelings, a major theme in this phase. Inner conflicts between your thoughts and feelings might occur. You might feel kind of polarized in your thinking. That's completely natural now. It really, really is, because the moon is I feel, and Mercury is communication. So it's what you feel deep inside, and it's how you're communicating with the external world. But this is good, because this is really going to be helping you to get in touch with areas that there are imbalance. Misunderstandings and arguments can happen, but the harmonious aspect of Neptune reduces this. So even though that might be happening where there might be some conflict, Neptune comes in and is just like, okay, kids, I'm the dreamer. Let's just take a deep breath and just meditate. I'm joking, but you know what I mean. It kind of soothes the influence a little bit, which I do like. This is a really good moon for spending time in reflection, talking to really good friends about how you feel, getting in touch with where you sense you're holding back in life, whether that has to do with your job or relationship, with your sense of self, anything. Now, this full moon trine Neptune heightens your emotions, imagination, creativity. This reduces anxiety and makes misunderstandings less likely. And if disagreements do occur, this harmonious and compassionate and very spiritual influence is going to incite forgiveness. It's going to incite cooler heads prevailing. It's just going to diffuse things really quickly, and which is great because we haven't had an influence like this in a while, to be honest. You may dream up or fantasize about an ideal partner, but are just as likely to meet somebody special now. So whether it's in your fantasy mind or in real life, relationships formed during this new moon phase have a very soulmate feel to them. Very soulmate feel. So friends may come to you for advice during this energy as well, a shoulder to cry on. You know, maybe you're dealing with some friends who are, you know, struggling right now, either with the virus or with money. You know, and again, I say that as a New Yorker because a lot of us know people who have the virus now because we're just so slammed with it. But I know a lot of you guys are super fortunate in places where it's been better contained. But regardless, your caring, sympathetic side is very enhanced during this new moon energy. A lot of empathy, a lot of caring, and it's going to come very naturally, so really nice. And then finally, we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. It's virtually exact. So this is occurring just 3 minutes before the full moon, so very close there. So this positive aspect far outweighs the challenging influence of the full moon opposite Mercury. Any of those little snafus that I said about communication, this outweighs it. So yeah, just generally people are going to be good during this energy. Very sympathetic, understanding. You're going to be very sensitive, especially those of you who, I don't know, as we say, are awake, are in touch, are spiritually aware. You're going to feel very sensitive to the vibrational energies going on now, to other people in your environment. Man, especially those water signs, right? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you're going to be vibing the energy a lot around you. Not in a bad way, in a good way. You're going to be able to sort of, and it's going to be helpful to the people in your life because you're going to be able to tap into your intuition in a way where you're just going to be able to sense if somebody needs something. Right? Which is really beautiful. So I do like this. And, you know, generally, we're all going to be feeling a more idealistic view of the world. Now, that has a lot to do with, okay, I mean, Mercury sextiling Neptune, but I have to say that also, you know, Venus is going to be retrograde. So there's going to be some, you know, sweet-colored rose juice thrown on everything, you know, right now, which is nice. You know, you could trust your feelings right now, guys. Seriously, like, we're all going to be feeling very sensitive. And trust your feelings, right? Because this aspect gives Mercury sextile Neptune gives very accurate intuition and perception skills, which I really like. A lot of you guys are going to be tapping into your psychic abilities where you're going to sense something before it happens. You're going to sense somebody reaching out to you before they do. You're going to be sensing these things. Lots of dreams here, lots of dreams with messages. So if you're remembering your dreams, really sit down with yourself quietly and think through. If you want, write it out, but figure out what message is trying to be sent to you, given to you in that moment. Yeah. I mean, I really like it. Very healing energy, very healing, great for romance, great for intimacy, great for feeling connected. And if nobody's in your life, you could be feeling super tight with your kids, really close to your friends, just very up in your feels in a positive way about everything. And again, last little bit, this is a great full moon. For those of you who are creatively inclined, artistically inclined, writers, anything, great pursuits for energy to pursue things like literature, drama, poetry, singing. In the same way, relaxation, yoga, meditation. Great. This is a great time, guys. For those of you who never believed in meditation, were never on board with it, didn't get it, couldn't relax well enough to stay in place to do it. I get it. We've all been there at one point, right? Before we learn the process. So this is a great energy to do it. And there are so many great videos that can help you through that. So why not, right? If you have the time, why not? All right, guys, that is the astrology section. So now I'm going to go pull signs. Pull cards for each of your signs, okay? See you guys on the other side. Okay, bye-bye. Hi, Cancer. So let's get right into your career first, okay? And then we'll go to relationships. So that'll be time-stamped. So let's get right into a cross for Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and 10th house energy. If you know your 10th house, hopefully many of you do. If you watch the Venus retrograde, I did put that link in the description box of that video for you guys to get a free birth chart. Okay. Okay, let's pull everything and then we'll discuss. Yeah. Okay. All right, so coming into this energy, we have the Eight of Coins reversed. So this could be that, you know, you guys in a place where you feel like you're just not going to have luck and expansion in this particular job, in this career, in this field, in this position, whatever it is. You know, money is not coming in. Money is not being offered to you. If it is, it's different than what was initially offered. You may be working differently. You may not be working at all, right? But it's this feeling that you're not going to be able to move forward, right? Because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is about that forward movement. And I do get the feeling that you guys, many of you, were just feeling very unsupported and not connected to the position anymore. Just not connected to the position. You know, now in the current situation, we have the Page of Cups, which is great, and it's crossed by the King of Cups in reverse, though. So let's talk about that. So Page is always a new cycle, and Cups are emotions being offered. Now in a career read, it's about being offered an opportunity that's really going to speak to your heart space, right? So it's this idea of an opportunity, but then we have this King of Cups in reverse. So whenever we have the King of Cups in reverse, it's this idea of, you know, it's a Libra and Scorpio energy. So Libra is all about fairness, okay? So the glyph is the scales, but Libra also rules is also ruled by Venus, which is one of the money planets, right? So there could be the situation where you're very much wanting this new connection, this new beginning. You may be receiving a new job offer here as well, but the money may not be what it is that you're looking for. Right? And you're feeling this sense of, you know, am I going to be able to rebuild myself? You know, am I going to be, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, so it's all about transformation. So it's feeling like, am I going to be able to have this transformation? Is it going to be able to go on? So we have this, you know, this lack of transformation, or this feeling of not having this transformation right now, but this desire to have this new cycle. We have the Two of Swords in the reverse as the crowning energy. So swords are truth, okay? It's conversation, it's truth. And in the reverse, this tells me that somebody could be very manipulative with you right now. Some sort of information could be being held back from you. If you are being communicated with regarding a career, you may not be getting all of the information. And this can be very confusing, right? Certainly, right? And it's a Moon and Libra energy. So you're in the space of feeling like, because the Moon is always I feel, and whenever there's a reverse, it's you bringing those feelings up to the surface. And Libra, again, being ruled by Venus, it's you're really being honest about, you know, what it is that you see yourself doing. You're being honest about what the reality is with this job. You're being honest about what it is that you really want for yourself. And that's like front and center. That's crowning you. And we have the Six of Cups in the foundation. I really like this. So this could be a number of things. First of all, it's nostalgia. So some of you are going to resonate with this differently. Some of you may be tapping into something that you wanted to do once upon a time and deciding to go back to that, right, for a career. Others of you might be reaching out or being contacted from somebody that you used to work with a long time ago. And all of a sudden you're like, yeah, why did I even leave that in the first place? This is going to be really good, whatever, like that. This could also be somebody from your past having some sort of positive connection as far as your career goes. So maybe you contact old friends that you used to hang out with, or people from your childhood home, or whatever it is. And through conversation, you end up making these connections that end up helping you in your career. And I do like it because it's a Sun and Scorpio energy. So whatever happens as a result of this, it's going to end up leading to some sort of transformation in your circumstances. So while you may be in a space right now of feeling like not knowing totally what's going on, not being sure if you're being given the full truth, you know, not having the money or getting the money in that you normally do, you know, there is this strong desire to have this new cycle, but there's something being held back from you. You know, that could be a bunch of things, right, that we talked about. This could be the person that you're working for. This could be, you know, just the, you just not feeling connected to it anymore as well, as I mentioned before. So representing you right now, you're the Queen of Swords. I like this, right? I'm not surprised that this is here at all, because this is you really demanding the truth of a situation and you being really honest as well. Because the Queen of Swords, again, I always say, has you figured out the second you walk in the room, before you open your mouth, knows your intent, knows your really what it is that you're looking for through communication. It's about getting to the end point pretty quickly, really is. But, it's a Virgo and Libra energy. So we have Libra there, we also have Venus there. So I really don't sense this is going to be very much an aggressive energy, but it is in a very practical way. You're in a space where you're like, all right, look, I have a living to make. I need to bring in money. I need to bring in money for my life, to sustain my life, to sustain my family, right? Because whenever we have a queen, there's got to be a vibe about the home space there, right? And you just wanting honest communication, that honest Virgo energy. Think about Virgo. Virgo is about communication, but it's the Hermit energy. It's thinking very pragmatically. So it's you saying like, all right, let's cut through all the nonsense, all right, yeah, this, that, whatever. The economy stopped, okay, fine. COVID, okay, now what are we going to do? Like, can we just get to the point of the matter here and let's just figure this out, Now, external to you, we have the Queen of Wands. So this is an external energy to you. It's not you. And the Queen of Wands is a very passionate, a very forward-moving energy. Somebody who feels really excited about some sort of project, that they're coming in and offering you a position in a new project, offering you the ability to see a different way forward. So this can come in the way of a new job offer or somebody that incites this new level of passion inside of you. So I really like that for you, because it's a very forward moving. This is Pisces and Aries. Aries is very forward moving. It's ruled by Mars. It's all right, let's go in this direction. Let's chase our dreams in this direction. So, you might be dealing with somebody who has an idea for a business, or somebody who just wants to bring you on board with something, somebody who's asking for your help in some way. But it's this external energy that is trying to figure out a way of doing something differently with a new perspective, and they want you on board. They want you involved in it. So you could be getting some sort of job offer that way, right? But it's to do something different, again, because we have the Aries energy here, and Aries energy is always about just like unencumbered, just let's go kind of energy. And you can be like, can we just talk about this for a minute, in that space. Now, your fear is the Hangman in the reverse. So the Hangman in the reverse tends to glorify something from the past, right? It's Neptune in reverse. Which just indicates like a stagnation, right? Being stuck in this dream space, being stuck in this pause. It's like you're stuck on pause. Now, this is your fear. Your fear is being stuck in pause. Your fear is that something's not going to come along that's going to speak to you well enough for you to want to be able to move forward in a certain way and to feel really comfortable. And you're just afraid. You're afraid that things aren't going to be any different. You're just afraid that you're just not going to be clear. You're going to be approaching things without clarity, and that you don't want to do that, right? Because you're feeling very clear right now, and your fear is being unclear. You want to, absolutely see everything for what it is and make some very smart choices when it comes to your career right now. Now, the outcome energy here is Knight of Coins in the reverse. So the Knight reverse is a Leo and Virgo energy. So this tells me that you can easily be having some arguments, right? Having to do with ego regarding money, having to do with career. So this could be with your boss, your business partner, whoever it is that you're in business with. You could even be arguing with yourself. Should I take that job? It's not what I normally make. Or, I don't know if I'm entirely comfortable about this, where, maybe you had to take a cut in pay, maybe you're getting paid differently, you haven't gotten paid yet, anything like that. But I do see there being some sort of ego at play having to do with money, okay, as the outcome here. So some sort of lack of agreement having to do with money. Now, in the near future, I have you kind of leaving this situation, even if you're not leaving right now. So the thing is with the Six of Swords energy, it's you moving away from something that you have identified already as toxic, but you may not be able to move away from it right now. So you may be just doing it mentally, setting your ducks up in a row to move forward into. So if let's say if your job is not, maybe they're paying you differently, maybe they cut your pay, they cut your hours, whatever it is, something's going on there with the money, okay? And it's you realizing, you know what, okay, I can't leave it right now because I need whatever I have coming in, but I need to figure out a way of doing something differently because this is not going to sustain me in the long term. And who really knows how long this is going to last, you know? So it's you setting your sights on a healthier situation. You making that decision where you're going to, okay, I'm just going to move on into, I'm at least going to start doing the homework. That is really what the Six of Swords is. It's, because swords, again, it's thinking, right? It's an air, it's mercurial energy. So it's about, I'm going to go online, I'm going to start researching different jobs, different positions, you know, different whatever, you know, fill in the blank, whatever's relevant for you, but to get you away from anything that's toxic that you're dealing with in your career right now. So that's what I have for that right now. And now let's go to relationships for those Cancers who are either in a relationship or you have somebody in your energy field who might not be together right in the moment, but they're very actively in your energy fields. And you're going to know. You know who that is. Okay. So I'm going to do a past, present, future, and then a line of clarifiers, okay? Shake things up a little bit. Do things a little different. Okay, let's pull these. Okay. So in the recent past, we have the Two of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the Seven of Cups. Wow. Two of Cups is a beautiful energy. It really is. It's Venus in Cancer, you know. So this is in your past. You're very much connecting with your partner as them being like that metaphorical home space for you, you know. Feeling very happy and very, very happy to commit yourself to the relationship. Knight of Wands, lots of passion, lots of attraction. And two, you know, this is a Scorpio and Sagittarius energy. So it's moving forward. You were moving forward with your partner in a way that was actually transformative. Now, for some of you, this could have been a reconciliation, right? Because this is your recent past. So it could have been this reconciliation where you guys had this newfound understanding, where you're in this Two of Cups energy. And the Knight of Wands, it's because it's a Scorpio and Sag, it's like, okay, we're going to like transform, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is about the ending of something so that something new can be born. So, and then you move forward in that. So this could be having to do with if you guys were together and you reconciled, or it could be you meeting a new relationship, you guys making that commitment, you guys feeling a lot of passion for each other, and this person actually having a transformative effect on your life in a beautiful way. But then we have the Seven of Cups energy, and the interesting thing about this energy is that, you know, we know what's in Five of the Cups, we don't know what's in Two. And it's a Saturn and Pisces energy. And again, wherever there's, it's a Venus and Scorpio energy. So wherever there's Venus, there's love, there's, you know, self-esteem, it's connection to money as well. But this is a love read, so let's stick with that. But it's this, in there with Scorpio, it's about understanding that there's the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. So now going back to those of you who recently have reconciled, maybe you reconnected after not having been together for a while. Again, this is another energy that indicates, okay, we're transforming, we're going to be different, but you not being able to see the other side of it and it making you feel a little nervous, a little unsure. Be like, all right, we're not going to have what we had, we're going to have something different, but what exactly does that mean, and can I trust it, kind of energy. Do you know what I mean? Like knowing that things are not what they used to be. Now that goes for those of you who are in a space of where you reconciled. For those of you where this is a new relationship and you're feeling a lot of passion and this person is changing you, something is coming up where you feel like you're not getting all the information about something, and it's like, again, you know what's in 5 of the cups, you just don't know what's in 2. So you're in the space of filling in what you think is going on because you're not sure, and you're starting to feel things. You started to feel things shift. You started to feel things change, and it started to make you feel very uncomfortable. Now, right now, right, in the present, we have an interesting bunch of energies here, because we have a 3 of Cups energy, which is about celebration. This is beautiful. I mean, it's a Mercury and Cancer card. So it's really solid communication about what's going on in the relationship, because Cancer is I feel, Mercury is communication. Lots of beautiful communicating, a celebratory vibe. I guess to the extent that we actually could do that, you know, in quarantine. But there is a beautiful celebratory sharing vibe within the relationship. And then we have a 2 of Swords, and this is a Moon and Libra energy. Moon is I feel, Libra is relationship, but it's feeling deeply and trying to figure out, you know, what your truth is as far as moving forward. You know, is this the right move for me? Is this relationship speaking to my truth? Is this good for me? You know, what's the solid thing? So I'm getting for many of you. All right, I'm going to give a couple of things. I'm getting these 2 things very strongly. Some of you are going to be letting go of the past energy that has still been surrounding you. Oh my God, I'm getting this so quick, I can't even say it straight. So some of you might have been harboring emotions for an ex, separate from this person. And you're realizing that in order for this relationship to be really successful, you have to cut energetic ties with that person from your past. You have to understand that cycle is over, and it's over. It's in reverse. That has been over, and it's not meant to be revisited, because this was an unhealthy energy. But it's you being in the space of, am I able to totally let that person go so that I could be completely in the present in this relationship that I'm in right now? All right, that is definitely going to be hidden, because that came in way too strong. All right, so let me see what else I'm getting here for that. Okay, now for others of you, I can get that. I'm getting that, you know, you were in the space of feeling very celebratory, like you guys are communicating and you're sharing your heart and all of that. But then the 7 of Cups energy started to sort of poke at you again, and you started to feel confused if this was a solid relationship for you or not. And then you get to a point where you realize that something happened that came to light. Because the 7 of Swords, it's 1 sword at a time over time. This is Mercury and Virgo. So something like some sort of communication came in, some sort of manipulation came in, lots of manipulation, you realize, in a very practical way, ended up really nasty communication. It ended up being like the practical choice to at least end that cycle. But I have to tell you, I'm feeling way, and that's going to resonate with some of you, but I'm feeling way more inclined to go with that first energy, where you're in this relationship or you've reconciled, but there's somebody from your deeper past that's still messing with your energy, and you're saying, you know what, once and for all, it's time to let that person go so that I could be in this. Yes, because look at the future. Then we have the Ace of Wands. Ace is brand spanking new. Wands are passion, it's fire, it's desire. There's a lot of desire here. There's a lot of desire. Yeah. And then we have the 10 of Wands. And the 10 of Wands is an interesting energy. Is it the end of a cycle? Yeah. Sorry, I'm banging my camera here. We have ends of cycles all the time. But this is a Saturn and Sagittarius energy. So this just tells me Saturn is about restriction and Sagittarius is about moving forward. So this 10 of Wands can indicate to me that you really have this fire in your belly for this new path, but there is some sort of restriction that's holding you back from being able to move forward in it. And then we have the Strength card. And I like the Strength card because the Strength is being, doing it scared. Maybe not feeling 100%, positive about what the outcome is going to be. Well, are we ever positive? But having a really good reason, maybe if you guys did reconnect, maybe you're thinking about the way it was once upon a time, and is it going to be like that again? But doing it scared anyway. The only thing I have to just, indicate here is you may be needing to deal with needing to stroke somebody's ego for a minute or two. You may need your ego stroked for a minute or two, but that's not so bad. I mean, this really is a very positive card in the upright. It is a Leo energy, and I have to say, Leo is a really beautiful energy to be connected with, to have come up as this future card. Because one thing about the Leo energy in relationship, they get a bad rap in that they, like to be the center of attention, and, their ego can often be an issue. But in the same way, first of all, they're so much fun. They're so much fun, first of all. But really more than that, in a relationship, more than any other sign. And I said this once before, and people came after me. And guys, I'm sorry. Like, if you research astrology and you know the signs, this is the truth. Leos are the ride or dies of the zodiac. They are. A lot of people say no, Cancer is, but people say no, Scorpio is. No. Leo, and this is what I mean very specifically. The Leo energy is that friend. They want to be really, really, really good friends in the relationship. That's number one. Number two, it's that friendship that supersedes all else, so that they are at your bedside holding your hand when you're 95 years old, wrinkly, and look like a hot mess, and they still think you look beautiful. And that is the reality of the Leo energy, So really, really good. I like this. It's being scared and doing it anyway, and it ending up really good. But I feel like there's some sort of restriction. So it could be the quarantine. It could be the pragmatics of needing to work something out. All right. But I feel like there are three energies that I'm dealing with here. So I do feel like there was somebody from your past that hurt you, that did something weird to you, where they ghosted you, some things. It's Saturn and Libra. So they created some sort of challenge for you within the relationship that really pushed it to a point where it's like, there's no way that this is going to be able to continue. And then we have the Nine of Wands energy. I like this too, because this is you just giving over and saying, you know what, I'm choosing not to give my passion to that other energy anymore. I just don't want to do it, But you're going to be in a space of really, struggling with this. I really do feel like that, because the Four of Swords energy is recognizing that you've been through a lot, recognizing that there are lessons being learned, but having a hard time letting go of that last little bit of energy of that person from your past. But then we have the Seven of Swords energy, and what I feel like is, this is such a Venus retrograde in Gemini energy. Seven of Swords in reverse. It's somebody's mask falling off, the lights being flipped on, illumination happening. And this is the thing, Cancer, you're going to be realizing things about this relationship from your past. So I feel like this is what's going to happen for a lot of you. Oh my gosh, and I just realized something. That if you guys watch even if you just watch the few minutes just for your sign in my Venus retrograde, you guys more than any other sign are going to be dealing with somebody coming back from your past. That's so interesting. Yeah. But I feel like this is a different energy. See, I feel like you guys are in an energy, like in a relationship now, that I feel like you're sort of cycling, but you guys are going to be working things out, but you got to get rid of this other energy. Seven of Swords is a mask falling off. Seven of Swords is the lights coming on, and you realizing, how did I not see this back then? How did I not realize that they have borderline personality disorder? I don't know. I'm just saying, but how did I not see that they were a player? How did I not see that they were dishonest with me? How did I not see that I was being strung along? Or how did I just not see that they simply weren't a good fit for me? And you're going to be very heavy in that energy right now. Absolutely. But you're going to be working something out with somebody else. So yeah, this is very specific, but I feel like it's going to resonate with a lot of you. Cancer Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. You're going to be feeling this. Especially risings. Right? Because they did say that for the Cancer with the Venus read. All right, guys, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Pretty specific. Good stuff, though, in the end. Healthy. And we like that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.